Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Residents stage protests after senior citizen killed by mob in Mandeville. Residents of Victoria Town in South Manchester have blocked sections of the main road in their community as they protest Friday's mob killing of a man they describe as a community leader. The deceased has been identified as Shefton Campbell. Campbell died as a result of wounds he sustained after he was beaten by a crowd of people on Lower Manchester Road. Police said the crowd accused Campbell of robbery. However, residents say Campbell was a well-respected community member. Audrey Pinocchos, a resident of the community, said Campbell was a decent citizen. From that man born until now, I don't know of him being a criminal. He's a decent citizen and just buried his mother about a month ago, she said. It is so saddening to see how they beat him and kill him. Mr. Campbell don't deserve that death, she added. The residents are demanding justice and have threatened to take their protest to Mandeville if their concerns are not addressed. 1 dead, 2 injured in St. James gun attack. A man was reportedly shot and killed, while 2 others are nursing gunshot wounds following a shooting incident in Pitford, St. James on Friday night. The police have identified the deceased as 29-year-old Dominic Futahi of a captured land address in Pitford. A 34-year-old man and a 32-year-old man were injured by the unknown assailants during the shooting. Although details surrounding the incident are not known, a well-placed source reported that it stemmed from an inner gang feud that has been brewing in St. James residential community. This feud has reportedly seen many members of the gang being targeted by their cronies in the last 2 weeks, the reported source added. The Granville police are investigating. Grieving mom finds comfort in life son lived. Though Claudette Graham is obviously shaken by the death of her 23-year-old son Colin, she has found solace in the fact that he lived his life as a young Christian. Colin, a morgue service worker at De La Pena's funeral home, and his friend Lionel Duaney died on Monday night following a single-vehicle crash along the Bogue Main Road in St. James. According to Colin's mother, the young men were on their way home after choir rehearsal when they met their demise. Upon hitting a wall along the major thoroughfare, both men were thrown from the Toyota Primo motor car in which they were traveling. The police and emergency services were called, and the 2 were taken to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where they were pronounced dead. Shortly after the crash, heartfelt tributes flooded social media platforms as Colin's friends and family learned of the tragic ending of his life. But according to Graham, while the news of her son's passing has hit the family very hard, they are trying to celebrate and find joy in the life he led. I just can't say much right now because of how I am feeling, but he was just a bundle of joy. If you were ever down in spirit, he was a young man who knew how to bring you happiness. He was also a worshipper, and that is the beauty about it, Graham said, while sharing that Colin sung in churches across Western Jamaica. She told reporters that while she still does not understand what caused the fatal car crash which claimed the lives of her son and his friend, her faith in God has been her guide through this traumatic incident. All I can recall is that it was brought to my attention that he met into an accident. I really don't know what happened. All I know is that he is gone. His number was called, and he is now out of fear, Graham said in a somber tone. She continued, The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh, so therefore I cannot let my heart be troubled. Being human, of course, I feel it to my core, and I do have my breakdown sessions where I cry and scream, but we give God the praise. Colin's actions during his last days are also a source of comfort for the grieving mother, who told reporters that she is very proud that her son had ministered to music to congregants just few days before he died. He was just a jovial youth, and I just want to remember him that way. I don't really want to remember or think about his very last moment, she said. What I think about is that on Friday, he was at a concert, and on Sunday, he was at another church singing in Hanover, and boy, heaven came down and glory filled his soul, said Graham, who noted that videos from those 2 events have been making the rounds on various social media platforms. You know what thought came over me this morning? They were probably in high spirits coming from choir practice on Monday night, and the Lord just decided to usher them home. I can't tell, and nobody else can tell what happened or what their last words were, but the Spirit told me this morning that based on the high spirits that they were in, the Lord said it was time for them to come home. That is how I view it, just to keep peace, Graham told reporters on Wednesday. Acknowledging that her young son's friend also tragically passed away in the car crash, Graham extended her condolences to his family. I don't know if Lionel's mom is alive, but I know that if she is alive, then every part of her is supposed to be in pain because of this accident. I just want to send out condolences to the Duhaney's family, and I will just pray for their strength, said the grieving mother. JTA head again blasts government over low wages. President of the Jamaica Teachers Association JTA, Winston Smith, is again warning that the government's failure to pump much-needed resources into the country's educational system will have their consequences in the long run. Smith likened the issue to the neglect of the West Indies cricket team over the years, which has resulted in it being regularly taunted by other teams. If the powers that be leave education the way it is, then we will only be able to recruit teachers from Haiti because nobody from anywhere else would want to come and work with the salary that the Jamaican teachers receive, warned Smith. For sustainable development in our country, we must advance education and spare no amount of funds for its development and sustainability, or else as a country we will collapse, Smith added. The JTA head was addressing the more than 24,000 member-strong union annual Helen Steele's Professional Day activity held at the Holiday Inn Resort in St. James on Thursday. This year's event theme was Embracing Self-Care for Sustainable Health and Wellness. The annual event is dedicated to the memory of Helen Steele, who recognized that teachers are the pillars of the educational system. In his address, Smith urged JTA members to speak up for themselves and not yield the space to others who have no idea of the challenges teachers face. One of the most striking things is that persons who have absolutely no idea what it means to be a teacher seem to be the ones who are leading the argument about what ought to be done and what should not be done, he said. I believe that it is time as educators we rise up and stand up in our rightful position and declare that as long as we are the vanguard of this noble profession, this institution that continues to give even when others are taking, we defend and protect every ounce of what we have and what we are seeking to do, because we are the only professionals who genuinely give of ourselves and care, he added. Smith, who is the principal of Golden Spring Primary School in St. Andrew, argued that some hold the view that it is acceptable to pay teachers low wages because their love for the profession would make them reluctant to explore other opportunities. I commit to those who are of that view that no matter how much we love the profession, and yes we do, if we are dead from starvation, then we won't be able to lobby anymore, argued the president of the 58-year-old union. We must say therefore, colleagues, to those who are in charge, that if we want our children to see our teachers as role models and persons worthy of emulation, we must not speak of the glorification of the cost of education, but we must position our educators so that when we traverse the length and breadth of Jamaica, we are seen as someone worthy of following, he said. In February, approximately 68% of the JTA memberships voted to accept the government's 4% wage offer. As part of the deal, teachers will receive a book and software allowance of $40,000 per year. On Thursday, Smith hinted that while all is not well, he had done his part and he expects his successor, LaSonja Harrison, who will take over the JTA's 57th annual conference in August, to continue the work. I know that you are here with your cups turned up and your heart and minds in tune. So, there are other things that I want to say, but I am going to save them until I have announced to the cabinet crew that it is time to disembark. But I want to put my team on notice that, like any good captain, when you are near the runway, you make sure that you have announced to your cabinet crew over the island to ensure that your passengers are secured, because we are about to make our final descent. I must descend, and thereafter you will see her in more operations, said Smith. Harrison, the principal of St. Faith's Primary School in St. Catherine, recently told reporters that when she takes over the helm of the JTA, she intends to partner with the private and public sectors to improve the island's education system. She said that she intends to empower teachers by lobbying the government to provide the kind of resources that we are in need of in order for us to carry out our duties effectively. Google donates 1,100 Chromebooks to St. Thomas schools. A total of 1,100 Chromebooks, valuing $27 million, are to be distributed to students across the parish of St. Thomas, courtesy of American multinational technology company Google. According to a release, the donation was secured by the St. Thomas Renaissance Foundation for its mathematics honored college program in the parish. The devices were handed over during a ceremony at the St. Thomas Technical High School on Friday, May 6, which was attended by Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams. Minister Williams welcomed the donation from Google, noting that it is in alignment with the goal of the ministry to ensure that each student is equipped with a technology device to support learning. She said that technology will remain an important part of the education system even after the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. Williams noted that the one laptop or tablet per child initiative has made it possible for some 200,000 devices to be provided to students across Jamaica. The Google Learning Management System is a platform utilized by the ministry to connect Jamaican students with their teachers in the virtual space and was especially crucial over the last 2 years when lessons were conducted remotely due to COVID-19. The Mathematics Honors College is a newly formed initiative of the St. Thomas Renaissance Foundation aimed at improving students' performance in the subject. At its helm is Master Mathematics teacher Beverly Hyatt. Under the initiative, mathematics lessons and training are provided to selected groups of students from each high school in the parish so that they in turn can mentor their peers. The Education Minister applauded the program, noting that it could potentially be replicated in other schools across the island. We can take that from St. Thomas as the parish gift for Jamaica, she added. President of the St. Thomas Renaissance Foundation, Professor Malton Edwards, beamed with pride as he spoke about Google's investment in the parish of his birth. Google is a company that builds on initiative, big ideas, and risk-taking, and those are the tenets of the St. Thomas Renaissance Foundation. So this really feels good, he said. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.